Hello YouTube, today is another review in my Darkonslaught Retron reviews, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Power of the Force Electronic Rebel Snowspeeder. Now, as you can see in the back, there's actually a poster that I actually put on there for my background. It's actually one of the posters that I got during the Force Friday event at Toys R Us, and I really liked the look of the Kylo Ren poster, and I thought I'd just put it in the back to kind of make the review setup look a lot better. Anyways, I got this from eBay for actually a really good price. If I remember correctly, I got it for less than $25 or so, or around the $25 price point. And for what it does, especially since it actually includes the box and a few other things that actually are included inside the box. And the best part is that this actually has a fully functional electronic gimmick. So unlike the other ones that I've seen on eBay and so on, the electronics are fully functional on this toy. So it's really nice that I actually got one in full working order. It also has the harpoon that's fully functional with no other problems. So besides just kind of normal wear and tear and maybe some of the stickers in a few places, this is actually a pretty good snowspeeder that I ended up getting. Anyways, before I take a look at the box, we're going to take a look at what I think is one of the best parts of the set that I actually got with it. It actually includes this really cool blueprint of the snowspeeder, and I think that's a really nice touch for what they released with some of the Power of the Force figures, if I can tell. Since I never actually got into one back then, I'm not sure if all the things came with this, but it's just nice to actually see that it does come with this really cool looking blueprint. On the back it just shows some of the stuff that at the time was out in stores. I guess there was some kind of place where you get these prints and so on. But other than that, that's pretty much it for there. Anyways, we'll take a look at the box, which, because it's used and it actually wasn't my copy, it's pretty dinged up, as you can see. It's got a lot of wear and tear. The box really has seen better days from what I can tell. Shows some of the stuff that it can do in the back, and it shows that it does work with the Power of the Force figures, but I actually didn't get Power of the Force figures to show with this review, which we'll actually look at a minute. So, see, this is pretty much just the standard box, but it's really nice to actually own the box with the toy as well. Anyways, we'll take a look at the snowspeeder itself. Now, the snowspeeder actually has a few features. Some of the features include, as I mentioned before, electronics, a fully working landing gear, and obviously the famous harpoon. Inside the snowspeeder, I actually got the Black Series Dack Ralter, and I think this is one of the legacy versions of the snowspeeder Luke. So we'll just take a look at the figures quickly first. Here we have, and unfortunately, as you can see, one of the major problems I see with the release is that this canopy likes to open quite a bit if you try to open it up. And here's a look at Dack Ralter, which is just in a standard pilot suit design, and the head does like to pop up quite a bit, but I'll quickly try to show it without it popping off. So we're just going to slowly pick up the helmet so that hopefully the head will not pop off with the head as well. So it's easy to kind of just slowly put it over the head instead of just trying to pull it as much as you can by force. And there we go. Here's how Dack Ralter looks like underneath the helmet, which actually doesn't look too bad, actually. I think they did a nice job designing it. The only thing is that it does suffer from what I could tell, a lot of the problems with the snowspeeder design, since it does have these little pieces there because of how the outfit was designed. It does kind of hinder the articulation kind of a bit. Since it is a part of the Black Series, it actually has quite a lot of articulation. As you can see, the head did pop off right there. Its head is in a ball joint. Shoulders, ball hinged, and also bent outward, but it's really tight on this one. It does have ball hinges in the elbows, and it can also bend forward and back. Swivels at the wrists. Full abdomen crunch of sorts, because it's actually got a wide range of movement in the abdomen area. No outward hips, but it can move back and forth. Does have ball hinged knees, so that's really nice. And just swivels, actually. I thought it was actually ball joints in the what's it called, feet, but it's actually just swivels. So it's still pretty well articulated. We're just going to put back the helmet and put him back inside the snowspeeder. He does include this blaster, which obviously he can carry, but I just like to keep it in the back there since he's not going to be really using it inside the snowspeeder. It does come with this tiny pistol, which fortunately isn't anywhere be able to be stored. So we're just going to put this guy back inside the Snowspeeder. There you go. And it actually fits really well, even though this is mostly made for the Power of the Force figures. Anyways, we'll take a look at Luke. Luke is, as I mentioned earlier, I think it was one of the Legacy toys. Actually, it's a really nice design, even if, unlike Dack, his suit is a little bit more of the bright side. Luke, on the other hand, actually is able to pull up the helmet pretty well without it popping off, but we're just going to be careful anyway. So, here we go. Just going to pull off the helmet, and the helmets are made of this very soft material, so that makes it a lot easier to actually remove and put on. See, it's very squishy material. And here's a look at Luke underneath the helmet, which has a pretty good likeness to Mark Hamill. I think it looks okay. It does look pretty nice, actually, overall. Same thing with Dack. He does have ball-hinged shoulders, ball-hinged elbows, and swivels at the wrists. It does have the abdomen crunch design again. Once again, it does not have outward hip movement, but it can bend forward and back. It does have really tight ball-hinged knees, and same thing, but he actually, looks of it, actually has ball-jointed ankles. So they're really nice. The little accessories that he includes, obviously, are the helmet as normal. He also includes this unlit lightsaber, which I haven't been able to really find a place to kind of store it outside of his hand, so I'm just going to keep it in his hand. And he actually also includes this little harpoon. So you can actually carry it in his hands. And while his hands are actually designed a little bit differently, as you can see, they're kind of made in a slant. So you can actually put this in a lot easier, as you can see there. There you go. And then this piece actually is a separate piece that can actually extend outward. Basically what you're going to do with this piece is that you're supposed to take this string and tie it to the end there, and it's fully functional. But I don't really need to do that, so I'm just going to put Luke back in his Snowspeeder. Just let him sit in the cockpit area. And here's how they look like inside up close. And you basically just need to slide the legs inside the little empty area there. We're just going to put away this piece, but before that we're going to see a little bit of detail inside. The stickers actually help the design overall, and I think it works pretty well for what it is. I'm going to take a full look at the Snowspeeder now. It's got a lot of sticker detailing and just has a lot of details in general. At the bottom it does, as I mentioned earlier, have the fully functional landing gear. So basically what you're going to do is, to put it away, you're going to slide this up, as you can see there, push it down, and then it spring loads the landing gear. But we're just going to put it away for now so we can hold on to the Landspeeder. This Landspeeder actually uses 2 C batteries, so it's a larger battery, so it's kind of hard to get a hold of nowadays. Well, it's not really too hard, I just never really seen the C batteries as much nowadays. The harpoon is pretty cool, because basically what the whole feature is that when you press this lever, the harpoon actually shoots out. And as you can see, because it's attached to a little box at the bottom there, you won't lose the harpoon as long as you keep that attached. So the main focus of the harpoon is that it was supposed to go around the AT-AT in order to make it crash down. And what they did with the toy is that, once again, as I mentioned earlier, it's attached to a string, and then this piece is actually removable. And while the string is really short and doesn't really have a good ability to probably string around any of the 3.75-inch AT-ATs, maybe if it has a longer string, it would have been able to do a little better, but I think it works pretty nice for what it is, and it is nice that it is a little, makes it just a tad bit harder to lose it as long as you keep it attached. But I have seen it quite a bit online with a lot of the harpoons missing. One of the main features of at least the Power of the Force version of the Snowspeeder, as seen in the commercials, is that they do have real sounds and so on, as they call it. So it actually has 2 main sounds, and that's pretty much it for sounds anyway. So the first sound is the attack sound, and these little cannons in front will actually light up. So you see? And then, just to make it easier, we're going to turn off the light and then see how the lights look like as the lights light up. As you can see, it has a pretty decent light actually, and it works pretty well for what the Snowspeeder does. The second sound is this rushing wind sound as if it's flying. So that's pretty cool. And actually, when you hold onto the button at the bottom, which I'm just going to quickly show here, as you can see, there's the two small buttons which activate the sounds. You can keep the sounds repeating. Same thing with blasters. So that's pretty cool. We're going to pull out the landing gear so we can put it back on the ground now. So that's pretty much it for the Power of the Force Snowspeeder. I highly recommend getting one of these since it's really nice. And while obviously it's definitely not the most accurate Snowspeeder out there, that goes to possibly maybe the 2010 version released in the Clone Wars under the Shadows of the Dark Side toy line. I still think it works really nice for any Star Wars collection, and it is just a bit cheaper than some of the other Snowspeeder releases that I've seen. So I highly recommend picking this up. Now, you don't really need the box, but I think the box is a nice addition as well for those maybe just collecting the Star Wars with their toy boxes and everything and all that. But I highly recommend picking this up, since to me it's actually one of the cooler vehicles from the Star Wars lore. Anyways, please comment, subscribe, and check out Hirotaku. Then this video should be up there at one point. Also, please check me out on Twitter under Darkon633. And please check down the other channels down below, including the WW Podcast and more. And anyways, I'll be back to bring more reviews. So, see you YouTube. Bye.